Governor Joey Salceda, former stock market analyst and presidential economic advisor, is finding it hard to stay optimistic amid a global economic recession. Despite the government's assurances that the Philippines can weather the storm, Salceda warns of the gravity of its impact, the dangers of first-world protectionism, and the silver lining he sees for the country after being ravaged by what is being dubbed as the Greater Depression.
Governor, you've made bold predictions last year regarding job losses and companies closing shop. We're seeing now that it's happening at a much faster rate. Are we supposed to be panicking?
Panicking within an emerging economy like the Philippines, given the host of other factors within our context. Number one, we have a lot of other persistent structural problems. Our inequitable poverty, our immature political system, immature but antiquated political system. It's the way we organize ourselves. We cannot afford to panic. We should be very worried. I mean, everybody should be very worried. I think the word worried is a better word than panic.
In GMA's State of the Nation address last year, she said that the BPOs, China, and the OFW remittances will make our economy stable in light of the economic crisis. Don't you think we're relying too much on the OFW market?
The Philippines can no longer rely on this as a natural safety valve for our domestic excess labor. Anything that depends on external markets will give. Exports, tourism, BPOs, all of them, OFW. I mean, there are two trends I think that worrisome to me. One, of course, the American First policy provisions of the stimulus package of the U.S., the $888 billion stimulate package passed by the House of Representatives. Second, really, as you can see, the growing aversion to foreign workers in many of our host economies like Great Britain, South Korea, Japan. I think the political contingencies will dictate that protectionism will be, I think at least there will be, the pendulum will shift from greater openness to one that is more protectionist. But that's bad for the Philippines because of our 54% exposure to the, I think on a net basis, we have one of the biggest exposure to the world because your OFW is 13% of GDP, your BPO is 3%, your tourism is 3%, then you have 37% exports exposure. So
we're looking at 30,000 jobs since October. After 18 months, what are we looking at?
So we're talking about 200,000. So next year, 300, a full 1% of the total labor. And ang problema dyan, it will happen in the more, what we call the good jobs. So, ang gagawin ng gobyerno is to create bad jobs. When you say bad jobs, in other words, short-term jobs. Ang food crisis will manifest itself in another way. It's cheap, but people don't have money to buy it.
So you think we should still push through with an election, which in the past has proven to be a very expensive exercise for the Philippines?
Ito naman, 4 billion lang, 6 billion.
That's big in light of the economic crisis.
Well, no matter how expensive it is, we have to do it because we're a democracy. In this kind of situation, hope sometimes is already enough for you to at least stimulate the positive impulses within your system. And you have a new president, hopefully will give us some fresh air, allow us to, that there's a new phase. You can hope again. May honeymoon period yan, where you can have at least some broad domestic consensus on doing certain things.
Are we in trouble, Governor?
Oh, yeah, we're in deep trouble. We're small. Our ability to respond to global challenges are also limited by our political structure, the way we organize ourselves. Kaya nga ang pinaghahandaan natin, itong bagyo na humahagupit sa US, tsunami yan pagdating dito sa atin. Kaya kaya kahit malakas ang bahay natin, kailangan we need to build a boat because that's the only feasible way of surviving the tsunami. That is, you ride it out. You don't swim under it. You just have to go over it. Oh, masaklap, mahirap, pero may magagawa naman. Pero sabi ko nga, there are no cures. They're all cushions.